You've been patient. You've been silent. You've turned the other cheek more times than you can count. But enough is enough. The people who wronged you thought they got away with it. They laughed behind your back, whispered lies, and celebrated your pain. But what they don't realize is that their time is up. God has been watching. Every insult, every betrayal, every plot against you, it was all recorded. And now the season has changed. The same people who tried to tear you down will face what they never saw coming. They thought your silence meant weakness, but they forgot that God is not silent. He has been preparing a response far greater than anything you could say or do. Some people mistook your kindness for naivety. They thought they could deceive, manipulate, and take advantage of you without consequences. They believed their actions were hidden, but nothing is hidden from God. While they were busy plotting in the dark, God was preparing to bring everything into the light. There is no escaping divine judgment. No matter how much they run, no matter how much they deny, no matter how many excuses they make, the truth is catching up to them. Their fate has already been sealed. They wrote their own sentence with their actions. And now, the time has come for them to reap what they have sown. You might have wondered, why did God allow them to do this to me? It's a question that has haunted you in your quiet moments. You have cried, you have struggled, and you have questioned whether justice would ever come. But this moment, the one you're living in right now, is the turning point. For a long time, God held back his judgment, not because he was ignoring your pain, but because he was giving them a chance to change. But they refused. They saw your suffering and felt no remorse. They had opportunities to make things right, but instead they chose to go even deeper into deception, manipulation, and cruelty. God's patience is not weakness. It is mercy. But mercy has an expiration date. And now, that date has arrived. You're about to witness a shift so drastic that it will leave no doubt that God has stepped in. The tables are turning, and they are turning fast. For every tear you cried, for every night you suffered in silence, for every betrayal that cut deep, God is repaying you. And he is not just repaying you a little, he is restoring everything you lost with interest. But for your enemies, the very ground they walk on is about to shake. This isn't just karma, this isn't just coincidence. This is divine judgment, the kind that no one can escape. And the reason it's happening now is simple. Their time is. You might have thought the betrayal was personal, that the people who hurt you did it because of who you are. But the truth is, this was never about you. It was about the test. God was testing your spirit, your endurance, your ability to hold on even when everything was against you. Some betrayals happen because people are weak, but others are orchestrated to reveal who you really are. When you were betrayed, it forced you to look deep inside yourself. It forced you to grow in ways you never would have if everything had been easy. Think about it. If those people had never hurt you, would you have seen them for who they truly are? Would you have learned discernment? Would you have developed the strength you have now? Probably not. Your enemies were allowed into your life not to break you, but to expose themselves. They thought they were winning, but all they did was reveal their true nature. And now, that revelation is turning against them. They were too arrogant to see that they were being used as a tool. They thought they were in control, but they were just a part of God's bigger plan for you. And now, that plan is unfolding. The same people who betrayed you are about to see what happens when God steps. And because here's the thing, when God allows betrayal, it's never to destroy his chosen ones. It's to separate them from what they don't need. It's to remove what can't go where they're headed. So if you're looking back and wondering why you had to endure all of that pain, remember this. God wasn't just watching. He was working. He was refining you, strengthening you, and setting you apart. And now he is finishing what he started. For a long time it felt like God was silent. It felt like the people who hurt you were getting away with it. They kept going about their lives, acting like nothing happened, while you were left to pick up the pieces. You might have even wondered, does God see this? Does he even care? But what you didn't realize was that he was giving them a chance. He was watching, waiting, and testing their hearts. Would they feel remorse? Would they try to make things right? Would they recognize the damage they caused? They had their time, and they wasted it. God is not blind. He is not indifferent. He saw everything and he took note. The door of mercy was open for them, but they refused to walk through it. Instead, they chose pride. They chose deception. They chose to continue their ways, thinking they were untouchable. Now the door is closing, and once God shuts a door, no one can open it. The same people who once laughed at your pain are about to experience something they never expected. The opportunities they took for granted will vanish. The things they built through deception will crumble. The power they thought they had will be stripped away, and you won't have to do a thing, because this is not your battle. This is God stepping in, and when He moves, there is no stopping what's coming. If only you knew what God shielded you from. If only you could see the attacks that never reached you, the things that were planned against you but never succeeded. You went through pain, yes. You endured betrayal. But what you don't realize is that the enemy wanted to do far worse. The people who worked against you didn't just want to hurt you, they wanted to destroy you. They wanted to break you so badly that you would never recover, but God didn't allow it. You might have lost some things along the way. You might have had moments where you felt like you were at rock bottom, but you're still here. You survived what was meant to take you out, and that's because God had His hand over you the entire time. Your enemies thought they were in control. They thought they could manipulate, lie, and deceive their way into power. But what they didn't realize was that you were never standing alone. Even in your hardest moments, you were covered. There were situations where you could have made one wrong move, and it would have cost you everything. But something stopped you. There were times when you could have been dragged deeper into their traps, but somehow you escaped. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was divine protection. Now, the same protection that covered you is being lifted from them. They are about to feel what life is like without God's hand of mercy, and the difference will be undeniable. They thought they were untouchable. They thought they could do whatever they wanted, and there would be no consequences. But now reality is about to hit them harder than they ever imagined. There is no escape from divine justice. When God decrees something, no amount of money, power, or influence can change it. No lie can cover it up. No manipulation can undo it. They may try to run. They may try to act like nothing is happening, but deep inside, they will feel it. The same confidence they once had will turn into fear. The same arrogance they walked with will turn into desperation, and no one will be able to save them. They might reach out to people for help, but the same ones who supported them before will turn their backs. They might try to rebuild what is falling apart, but nothing will work. Because when God declares judgment, it is final. The world will see it happen. And so will you. This is not about revenge. It's not about hatred. It's about balance. It's about making things right. The pain they caused is now returning to them. The things they took will be taken from them, the same way they made you. Suffer is the same way they will now suffer. This is not your doing. This is God's decree, and it cannot be undone. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to argue, explain, or try to prove anything. What's coming for them is out of your hands. This battle is not yours to fight. It belongs to God. There were times when you wanted to defend yourself, times when you wanted to expose their lies, to call them out, to make them feel the pain they caused you. But something held you back. That wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. If you had taken matters into your own hands, you would have been fighting with human strength. And human strength is limited. But when God steps in, there are no limits. He fights in ways you never could. He knows exactly where to strike, exactly what will shake them to their core, and exactly how to turn everything around. Now is the time to let go. Stop carrying the burden of their betrayal. Stop replaying the memories of what they did. Justice is already in motion, and nothing can stop it. Your energy is too valuable to waste on people who have already sealed their fate. Instead of looking back, look ahead. While God is handling them, He is also preparing something greater for you. What's coming for you is so much bigger than the pain they caused. And when you step into it, you'll realize why God didn't let you fight this battle, because He had something much better planned. They thought they were winning. They thought they had played the game so well that they could never lose. But what they didn't realize is that they were never in control. Everything they did, every scheme they plotted, every trap they set, it was all leading them into their own downfall. They walked right into their own destruction, and they didn't even see it coming. The thing about deception is that it blinds the deceiver. They were so focused on tricking others that they never realized they were setting themselves up. Every word they spoke in secret, every lie they spread, every plan they put in motion, it's all coming back full circle. Now, they are caught. No matter how much they try to escape, they will find themselves stuck in the very traps they created. The same energy they put out into the world is now returning to them, and there is no way out. They thought they were smarter than everyone else. They thought they could cheat their way through life without consequences. But they forgot the most important rule. God sees everything. And when God says it's time to face judgment, there is nowhere to hide. They wanted to see you fail. They wanted to watch you struggle, to see you give up, to prove to themselves that they were better than you. But what they didn't realize is that you were never meant to stay down. God was always planning to lift you higher. Your success will be the biggest lesson they will ever learn. Because while they spent their time trying to destroy you, God was preparing to elevate you in ways they never imagined. Nothing hurts an enemy more than watching someone they tried to break rise to a level they can never reach. And that is exactly what is about to happen. They will watch as doors open for you. They will hear about your victories. They will see you walk into blessings that they will never experience. And it will torment them, not because of jealousy alone, but because deep down they will know the truth. They were their own downfall. You were never their enemy. They were their own worst enemy. And watching you succeed will be the proof. This is not your ending. This is not where your story stops. What happened to you was unfair, but it was not the end. It was a setup for something far greater. God is closing the chapter on them. But for you, He is turning the page to something new, something beautiful, something they will never be a part of. Don't waste another second looking back. Their story is finished. Let them deal with their consequences while you walk into the future that was always meant for you. You are stepping into a season where everything you lost will be restored, where every wound will be healed, where every setback will turn into a blessing. Let them go, let the past go, let the pain go, because what's ahead is bigger than what's behind. God has sealed their fate, but your destiny is just beginning. If this message spoke to you, know that you are not alone. Everything you've been through had a purpose. The betrayals, the struggles, the moments when you questioned if justice would ever come, it was all part of the process, but now the season has changed. You are no longer in the place where they left you. They thought they had the last word, but they didn't. God did, and His word is final. You don't have to worry about them anymore. You don't have to carry the weight of what they did. Justice is being served and you are being set free. Now is the time to focus on where you are going, because what's ahead for you is far greater than anything they tried to take from you. Your future is bright, your purpose is unfolding, and your enemies, they are just a chapter that is finally closing. Stay strong, keep walking, and watch as God does exactly what He promised. If this message resonated with you, be sure to subscribe for more content that speaks truth, power, and spiritual clarity into your life. Your journey is just beginning, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way.